Alright, welcome back for another video. We're going to continue our series on Rhino here. We talked in class about extruding this seat, and so I'm not going to cover that in detail. And we also talked about how to make this shape using the freeform control point curves. But what I'm going to talk about now is actually a more complicated process on the back here. I'm going to go back here, double click the viewport to change that, and basically what we have going on here is a beveled relief. So this is beveled and smooth, and it relieves the back so that it only appears to be 1 inch thick on the sides, and it's actually relieved, leaving about a 1/4 inch or so of thickness. So what I'm going to do is over here I have kind of a starting point. I'm going to maximize my right viewport, and what I'm going to do is use the offset command. And while this is nicely here, make a duplicate shape that is going to be the negative shape that I'm going to end up wanting to use. So I'm going to use the offset command. I'm going to say distance is 0.25 inches. I'm going to select this, and I can hit enter or sorry, I actually want to left click on the side that I want to offset to, so right here. And then I'm going to repeat that by right clicking. There, you can see that I'm offset this line. I'm going to repeat that again over here, offset. And so now what we have is a series of lines now that are offset in the thickness that we're concerned with. So I'm going to go in here and trim this. I tend to not use the trim tool, which is why I use it sometimes, but I don't use it in situations like this. I'll show you another trick that I actually use quite a bit more. I'm going to type in trim, fillet. And then if I set my radius to 0, I can click here, and it actually trims things. So that's actually a trick that works in AutoCAD and a lot of other things. So if your fillet is set to 0, I'm going to right click to repeat the fillet. It says select first curve. There. So this is, remember, this is just, I'm going to go out of here to show you that if this were in shaded, we can't see line work in the 3D if it's on rendered, but I'm going to change it to shaded. So let's see, that is the original one. Let's see, I'll select these to see where they are. Oh, my preferences may be such that I changed my shaded to give you a better view. There we go. So anyway, here it is with the line work, and you can see that I'm just working in a 2D, and then I will extrude to the left here. So I'm going to go back to here. I just wanted to recalibrate you in 3D space. So now the only line that we don't have a duplicate of is this one. So we can just say Control C to copy, and then Control V to paste. And so now we actually have 2 lines. I'm going to undo that move, and I'm going to select one of them. I'm actually going to use the light bulb right here. If I left click, you can see a little icon there, but probably better on your screen than mine. Left click hides objects, right click shows all the objects that are hidden. So I want to hide that, so I'll left click. So now I just have one line there. So now I can say fillet. Let's see if fillet works. Maybe trim will be the better one. Nope, fillet works just fine. You can see why it's easier often to just use fillet. So yeah, because it cleans things up nicely. If this line were extending past, the trim tool would only be trimming one line at a time, so the fillet makes sure there's a real nice corner. So now, while this line is hidden and things are pretty clear, I'm going to type in join. I'm going to click this. Do we have 2 curves there? Nope. See, the tolerance is such that it thought even though I clicked right on this, it thought I might be wanting this one, so I can hover between those 2 choices with my selection menu. And I obviously want this one. This one. That time it didn't give us the selection menu. There. So now it says 4 curves joined into one closed curve. That's this. So now we could actually select this and, well, actually we have to unhide first. So we right click to unhide on the light bulb. And now we have this line back. And now I'm actually going to hide this temporarily. So I'll left click on that. So you can kind of see I used one as a template for the other. So now I'm just going to type in extrude curve, extrude curve. In class I showed other ways to do it by going to solid, extrude planar curve, straight. But I'm going to just type in extrude curve. There we go. Select curves to extrude. Oh, we didn't join these, so let's join them. Join. This one, this one, this one, and this one. So now extrude curve. Select curves to extrude. That one. Enter when done, or else right click. And now distance, we can't see it doing anything, but I can just type in 17 inches and hit enter. And now let's go back to 3D. And there is our nice extrusion. So that's pretty great. So now what we can do is we can right click to unhide this curve here. And let's say extrude curve, 17 inches. And so now, of course, if you're thinking about it, you're probably wondering, I'm going to change this to shaded, but what about the fact that they're both the same width? Well, I'm going to introduce you to another command. A lot of new stuff in this video. So here we have this one and this one, and yeah, it's kind of hard to tell which is which. So I'm going to go double click here. So I have this, and what I really want to know is which one's selected. So I'm going to select this polysurface, and then I'm going to go up here and right click in this viewport to make it active. If you right click up here, you'll notice there. The reason I want to make this active is because I'm going to scale this in here and then in here, and I want to make sure that I'm scaling in the axes that relate to the top view, and so that's why I want to make the top view active. So I'm going to say transform, scale 1D, one dimension. Scale 2D would be this, and then scale 3D would be, you can imagine that's the z-axis in the top view, so it would be making it thinner as well. So let's say scale 1D. Snap to a midpoint. Make sure that midpoint is on with your O-snap. Otherwise you won't get exact results. Go out here to the edge. So first click is here on the midpoint. Second click can be pretty much wherever you want, but I like to go out there. And then you can see what our third click is going to give us. We might wheel in here and come in about 0.25. So there you have it. Now what you'll do is you could hide this, left click. So now the smaller one is the only one showing, and use the fillet edge command. Set your radius to something that's going to work. Let's start small by 0.5. And then you can actually select this edge, this edge, this edge, and this edge. And then right click and right click, and you get a smoothed edge. So that's the fillet edge command. So now we can left click, or right click to unhide, and we can go down to, we talked about this a lot in class, but Boolean difference, or we talked about it at the end in class. Boolean difference subtracts one thing from another, so we'll say difference, and we'll go to this view maybe, there, from there, and you can see what's happened here. So use this same technique you can now fillet edge here, 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 there. Right click, right click. There you go. You're getting a nice smooth product there. So now we've walked through the legs, we've walked through the seat, and you'll remember you might have to change this view to something that's going to work for you. For maybe you'll need a front view, so you could right click and say set view to front and draw your ellipse with the ellipse tool, using shift to stay straight and negotiating it in such a way that it ends up to be an accurate dimension. So that's about it for this. I think that covers that portion of the process fairly well. Basically, you just want to get two duplicate shapes that match up pretty well, and then subtract one from the other.